Madam Speaker, this exercise we are undertaking is time-bound. We must finalize by midnight tonight. We have a very important task to undertake as senators. Understanding order number 2, the only reason why we are seated here, Madam Speaker, is to make a determination whether the particulars of the allegation against the governor have been substantiated. That's the only business that is making us stand or sit here from 9 to midnight. Now, in wisdom, when we enacted our standing order, we put standing order number 30, which says that where on a particular question or matter, including but not limited to questions of evidence, materiality, relevance, or admissibility, the Speaker of the Senate shall rule on the question, and the ruling of the Speaker shall be final. Now, looking at the time, this is 6:30. Councils have not made their closing submissions. We have not retreated to plenary for senators to make their final submissions. Madam Speaker, if you read the affidavit of Mr. Thomas Obare, and I've really nothing against my good friend Thomas Obare, he's making allegations touching on issues of budget as passed by the County Assembly, that is paragraph 8, how a budget was passed and how the governor conducts. On
which page is that document?
That's at page 198.
190.
Yes, it does not make any response to the 4 allegations that are facing the deputy governor of the county of Kisii. If you go to paragraph number 9, which is at page 199, it says paragraph 9, the governor has refused to settle pending bills. If you go to paragraph 11, it is talking about militarization, radicalization, gagging of Kisii County youth, etc. If you go to 12, it's talking about governor lying that he has built 128 ECD classes, which is not true. And page 200 is the attestation page. You know, Madam Speaker, you can't take 87 honorable members for a ride, because what is before us is allegations touching on money that was allegedly given to the governor as a bribe or abuse of office in terms of using county enforcement officers to effect arrest of his brother. The evidence that is here has got no relevance to the issues at hand. It's not material to the allegation being investigated by the Senate. We don't have time. We are being taken for granted, Madam Speaker. So I invite you to invoke standing order number 30 of the 3rd schedule. Set a precedent that when we are sitting here as a quasi-judicial authority, we should restrict ourselves to the allegations that have been made against either the governor or the deputy governor, and then we make a determination whether there is substantiation or none. If there is none, we set the governor free. If there is substantiation, we send the governor home, so that you save time, Madam Speaker. So I invite you to invoke standing order number 30, rule that this particular evidence has got no relevance to the issue at hand.
Are you sure you want to refer to standing order number 30?
Of the 3rd schedule.
Of the 3rd schedule?
Yeah, you can call it rule 30 of the 3rd schedule, even not standing order. Yes, which gives you discretion, so that you allow us now time to listen to counsel. We also hear our colleagues making their own observations. Then we retreat to pass a verdict, Madam Speaker.
What is the point of order, Senator Gloria, in under half a minute? Because if we entertain so many points of orders, we will never make any progress on the same issues that you are complaining about.
Madam Speaker, it's actually, I had this point of order, the point where we had the last witness before this one. I even approached you to tell you that some of these things, the relevance towards the charges is not there. So we are actually spending time executing matters of local politics between fights of politicians and not actually addressing the 4 charges that we have, Madam Speaker. And in the interest of time, because yesterday we left chambers at midnight, Madam Speaker, I do not think that this House, and looking at how the senators are taking these matters very seriously, Madam Speaker, we would like to spend the energy that is left to actually deliberate on the accusations and the matters that have been brought before us, Madam Speaker, so that if we can be allowed time, because, Madam Speaker, to discuss whether or not a budget was implemented or not, to discuss whether or not the governor or the deputy is fighting who and who. It has nothing to do with the 4 charges that we have, Madam Speaker. So please, I urge you, if possible, and not because we do not want to hear the witness, just in the interest of time, if possible, if we can forego this witness.
Honorable Senators, let me give a direction on this matter. What's your point of order, Senator Sifuna? That's the final one, and then I'll make a...
To be very brief.
I'll give a direction.
So that we guide. And I know that as my senior, I really have a lot of respect for Senior Counsel Katwal Keegan, but he should also be honest with the House. Madam Speaker, you've been referred to certain paragraphs by Senior Counsel Okongo Mokeni. I want to refer you to paragraph 5 as to why these witnesses are being called. These witnesses are not being called to answer to any of the 4 allegations. They are being called to respond to governance issues that arose from public participation. If the counsel for the governor, deputy governor, are going to be fair to us, indeed these witnesses are not going to respond to any of the material allegations against the deputy governor. And it would be fair to the House. It's not about a question of time, because the standing orders actually allow you, Madam Speaker, to rule out evidence that is irrelevant. What we are saying is the Deputy Governor's Council should really examine and ask themselves if they have run out of witnesses to respond to the 4 allegations, so that these other stories that we want to be told by this other witness is really irrelevant. We can sit and listen to it, but in all honesty, it will not answer, because I have spent time with this bundle, Madam Speaker. I have read this affidavit. They are trying to respond to matters that came up during public participation and not the allegations that were raised against the governor, which are 4. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker, if counsel for the DG can kindly get a minute to respond to what the honorable senators were addressing before you make your decision.
You give counsel 1 minute to respond to the materiality of the evidence beforehand, and then I'll give a direction.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm honored to respond to my senator and my Secretary General, whom I hold in the highest regard. Honorable, understand fully, because this is politics, the nexus of this impeachment motion. And that's why we respectfully, and the Deputy Governor has instructed me to request that especially the witness who's just stood is extremely important to his case. Yes, if you are to look at the charges as read to the... Let him finish.
Let him finish, senators.
If Honorable Deputy, Honorable Madam Speaker, you are to look at the charges, it may not be direct evidence responding to the charges, but it's good that the honorable senators understand the background, the reasons as to why the impeachment motion against the Honorable DGT was
Senator
moved.
Gloria, I have given a direction. Can you maintain silence as the council is addressing us?
Thank
Please.
you. Thank you for the protection, Madam Speaker. I was just indicating and telling the House that it's extremely important for the Deputy Governor that evidence relating, because as I said, Honorable Madam Speaker, that this is politics. It's extremely important that, especially the witness on the dock, there are videos that we intend to play that show exactly what has been happening in Kisii County. And that cannot be said to be relevant. And even then, my colleagues for the County Assembly will have an opportunity to cross-examine the witness on the contents of his evidence, so that on his evidence, so that there'll be no prejudice whatsoever suffered by either the County Assembly or anyone, save for time. And Honorable Madam Speaker, you'll notice that we've already dropped 2 witnesses, and based on the sentiments, because we are all litigation lawyers, we are told to read the mood of the judge or the court. We have heard what the senators have said, and we will consult. But I'll beg that you allow the witness who stood to proceed with his evidence. Thank you very much.
Counsel, you have listened to the feel in the House, which may not be a misplaced observation, because it is in order for senators who are sitting as arbiters to listen through the evidence, sift that evidence, find its relevance towards the claims that are laid against the Deputy Governor. I would guide you in this manner. Since the evidence has not yet been adduced before this House, I would guide you that the impeachment proceedings are against the Deputy Governor, and the charges are already laid out. You have done very well to drop off 2 witnesses who maybe you were of the opinion that they may not be too material to the charges that have been laid against the Deputy Governor. I will now guide you. You take the shortest time possible. Whatever evidence you adduce, let it relate to the charges that are before this House as against the Deputy Governor. So if you take less time, we take less minutes in cross-examination, that will be in order, but avoid bringing the question of the governor is not yet going through any impeachment proceedings here. Relate your evidence to the charges that are before the Senate. So I'll allow you to proceed with that witness, but make sure that your evidence is material and relevant to the charges before this House.
With your permission, Madam Speaker, I have been very specifically mentioned by my learned friend, Honorable Sifuna. Could you allow me to just say one thing, even if you had to designate only 1 minute to me?
We have said you proceed on, but make sure the evidence relates to the charges that are before the House.
In that case, then, Madam Speaker, because what I wanted to observe to you is that this same argument was raised as a preliminary issue before the Speaker, and he determined that the evidence can be laid. You will recall that the County Assembly councils had taken objections to the paragraphs we are referring to. And on our part, we were countering it by saying that we are responding to what came from public participation, which formed part of the charges against us. Now, if your ruling then is that it has to be only on the 4 counts, which was an argument we had, then we would like to know then that the Senate is going to exclude the entirety of the public participation, because that's where the entry point of the 2 witnesses we are calling.
We
I
have,
wanted to confirm.
Senator, Council, I have not restricted you. If you view that it's relevant to the charges before the House, I have allowed you to proceed. But now you are using your time wrongly, because you should already be giving the evidence that that witness has. I've only guided that you save this House time by ensuring the evidence is relevant.
Thank you.
Madam Speaker, I may seek your guidance. Should then the County Assembly note that whatever evidence is being led by council does not square out the charge, could we raise objection?
No, do not. Let them lay their evidence. These senators are competent. They
Thank
can
you.
tell what is relevant and what is not relevant.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Obare, kindly proceed to introduce yourself.
Thank you, Council. Honorable Speaker, my name is Obare Thomas, MCA for Bobasi Boitangari. I'm also a graduate of economics from the University of Nairobi. Thank you.
Confirm that the affidavit referred to, or we are referring the House to, between page 198 and 200 of the DG's bundle was sworn by yourself.
I confirm.
confirm that you are in the County Assembly of Kisii when the motion that has been brought to this house was debated.
I confirm.
Are you a resident of Kisii County?
In my introduction, I said I'm the MCA for Bobasi Boitangare, therefore I'm a resident of Kisii County.
Are you able to tell this house whether you participated in the deliberations of the County Assembly and whether you did challenge anything with regard to the proceedings of the house when the same was being debated?
I confirm that I challenged the propriety of the motion unsuccessfully on grounds including it being out of time, Council.
Thank you, thank you. You are here as part of the witnesses who are giving evidence in support of the Deputy Governor. Are there any issues arising in Kisii County that you'd wish this Honorable House to get to know about?
Honorable Speaker, I confirm that I participated in the debate on the impeachment of the Deputy Governor, and I confirm that that debate is as a result of what is happening in Kisii County.
Are you able to tell the House what that is and the relevance to the motion?
I can see this a newspaper pullout, and it talks about what Kisii elders said about Governor Rat's snap to reconciliation talks.
So basically, in aspect of the violence, the chaos in Kisii County, there have been attempts to reconcile leaders. Is that what you're telling the Senate, the Honorable Senate?
I confirm that there has been attempts to mitigate the violence and the altercation that has been happening in Kisii, but then we have not been able to have those talks.
Thank you. So that the article at page 155 to 157 relates to the attempt to reconcile. Is that correct?
Yes, Council.
Okay. Do you have any other videos or any videos, especially the ones that you are referring to in paragraph 11B, that you'd wish to show the House as we rest, not to take a lot of time?
Yes, the videos were submitted, and I hope that they can be played in the Senate.
Madam Speaker, I'll request that the videos that we'd...
How long are the videos?
They are 5 minutes.
Okay.
There are 5 minutes, but there are a number of them. And there's a final one, which is around 50 seconds. Those are the last ones, Madam Speaker, that we'll play and we'll rest. Okay.
Play.
Honorable Obare.
Yes.
I don't know whether I believe you've had an opportunity to see the videos.
I have had an opportunity to look at the videos.
Are you able to tell this Honorable House what the videos exactly are about on?
Did we play?
Yes. Okay, Honorable Madam Speaker, if we can kindly have that first video placed. If we can have from 4 or 3. I don't know where if we can have the volume and start at...
Nataka niseme haya. Bwana Rais, nataka nikueleze leo. Nilipoingia ofisini...
That is a different clip, but because of time, Honorable Speaker, if you can allow me, refer the witness to paragraph 12 of his affidavit, because we could have played that one. I don't know whether it's possible to go back. What is this about 128 ECD classes built in Kisii?
Honorable Speaker, the President visited Kisii County on 16th of December 2023, and the video that has been played before this House is our governor.
It's not been played. It's going to be played.
Yes.
Yes.
Is our governor explaining that he has built 128 ECD classes, a point that we challenged.
Nataka niseme haya.
It can be played, then we proceed. Just play.
Rais, nataka nikueleze leo, nilipoingia ofisini nilipata classrooms za ECD ambazo zilikuwa zimejengwa ni 81 kwa miaka 10. Mwaka mmoja ambao nimekaa ofisini, Mheshimiwa Rais, nimefanya madarasa 128.
Thank you, thank you. Were you present when His Excellency the Governor?
I was present during that function, and I raised a question thereafter, asking for the information on the ACD classes, because I know it was a lie.
Is that information in the letter that you did in page 174 to 176 of the DG's bundle? Just take a look at page 174 to 176.
Council, you have 5 minutes.
That's
to
the
finish.
letter I did the chief officer on the same. Proceed.
Okay. Thank you. Can I proceed, Madam Speaker?
Proceed.
Thank you, thank you. If, and Madam Speaker, I believe the clerk, the assistant to the Senate has just shown me 10 minutes. That was a minute ago, and the chair is indicating 5 minutes. If we can just play the video clips to end clear. Thank you.
What's your point of order, Senator Sifuna? Make it short.
Madam Speaker, I heard you very clearly, your directions to counsel for the Deputy Governor. You allowed them to proceed, but gave them a caution that the material they present must be material and relevant to the issues before this House. If indeed there is material like the one they are playing there, nothing stops the witness, who's an honorable member of the County Assembly, from bringing a separate impeachment motion against Simbarati for lying in public. That is not why we are here. So, Madam Speaker, for you to continue to allow irrelevant material to be played is really wasting. It's an abuse of this process, because they are abusing the process to achieve nefarious political ends. And this is something that we cannot allow in this House.